City of Stevens Point Common Council meeting, recorded October 20th, 2025.
All right, I have 7 o'clock. We'll call the regular meeting of the Common Council to order. Could I get a roll call, please?
Christensen.
Here.
Guthrie.
Here.
Keemer.
Here.
Broderick.
Here.
Burr.
Here.
Steinmetz.
Here.
Kneebone.
Here.
Shuda.
Here.
Lane.
Here.
Boozy.
Here.
And Morrow.
Here. Perfect. Everyone is in attendance, and we'll continue. Please join me in our salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. October is upon us. I want to remind people that downtown trick-or-treating is this Saturday from 3 to 5. Citywide trick-or-treating is the 31st, as usual. And we have our historic Clover River Crossing groundbreaking November 5th, which is a Wednesday at 1 p.m. Today is National Radio Day and National Chicken and Waffles Day, among others. Was there complaining? No, but who can complain about chicken and waffles? But about a week ago, some people recognized Columbus Day. Others recognized Indigenous Peoples Day. Still others recognized both. Some people recognized a birthday, anniversary, adoption day, or even National Yorkshire Pudding Day. Everyone seemed to have something to say about why one was right and the other was wrong. Yet I didn't see one patriotic post about the creation of the United States Navy, which was created on October 13th, 1775. The 250th birthday, and not one word. The cool thing about being human as well, other than opposable thumbs, is we can do more than one thing at a time. It doesn't have to be one or the other, and we sure don't need to criticize someone for doing something different than what we want to do. You may never stoop so low as to engage with antagonizers on social media. I'm sure you've seen them. The fake names that seem to only want to stir the pot on the topic du jour. Well, the problem is that some people tend to believe those vile things they post, and if left unchecked, can create grapevine campaigns of misinformation. Now, I can usually hold my own. I've got thick skin, and that kind of comes with the job. I think every person sitting at this table knows this. But when others get abuse, it's hard to sit by and watch. There was a woman named Sheena. She made threats 5 days ago against Deb W., whom I know, and spends most of her time working with the Shriners, raising money to help sick children. The comment was this: "Yet there you are, still running your big mouth, trolling, looking just as delusional. I love when trash takes itself out, but I love it even more when I get to take it out. I love it when I get to take it out." What does that mean? I'm not one to mince words either. You'll always know where I stand, and I'll call BS when I see it, as I frequently do with people named Noisewater or None Ya Business or others. I even get criticized for being available and responsive. You can read about it if you pay for the subscription. For being available and responsive to questions, requests, or problems. I'm so ashamed of my behavior. Okay, I'm not, but maybe someone should be. This happens all the time at the farmer's market, the grocery store, any of the events we attend, nights, weekends, and more. Several years ago, Mayor Westcott gave me advice as he handed over the keys to the office. "The hardest part is leaving work at work, Mike, but you need to." Well, I didn't take that advice. I think a big part of my job is being available and responsive. Some may not like the answers I provide, but they'll get an honest answer, or at least as honest as I can give. It seems no matter what we do, someone's waiting in the weeds to tell us why we did it wrong, criticize why we did something, or just make a personal attack on our gender, age, weight, or perceived political views. I hope I speak for everyone at this table and many local elected people when I say we choose this job because we all want to make our community a better place. We may disagree on how to do that sometimes, but that doesn't have to make us enemies. So for those of you in these thankless jobs, Thank you. Tomorrow is National Apple Day, but maybe we need a National Hug a Civil Servant Day, with permission, of course. Item number 3, persons who wish to address the mayor and council on a specific agenda item other than a public hearing must register their request at this time. Those who wish to address the common council during their public hearing are not required to identify themselves until the public hearing is declared open by the mayor. The public hearing, we do have one, item number 9, but if there's anyone who wants to speak on any other item that hasn't, raise your hand and Bethany will get you a slip. All right, we got one more yet? So that takes us to item number 4, which is persons who wish to address the mayor and council for up to 3 minutes regarding a non-agenda item. First one up, we'll go with Andrea Olson.
Andrea Olson, 410 Franklin Street. So I'm really nervous about this because I'm afraid how I'm going to get disparaged and talked at and have my words manipulated right after I'm done between here and the next agenda item. And what the mayor just said was a perfect lead-in to what I want to bring up. We have a critical vulnerability, and if our council does nothing, we're making an active choice to manage legal or to maintain legal risks and to protect and enable the mayor's continued unprofessional conduct online and through our media outlets. Every day, our mayor is putting our city at risk when he posts on social media, impedes communication with citizens, and makes personal attacks or disparagements against any individual or organization in our community. I want to address the top. Well, first, I'll give you a couple examples. Within a week ago, the mayor decided to respond to somebody and told them that somebody called him out, a citizen did, saying that if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything. You know how it goes. And he said he can say whatever he wants because that's not a real person. Well, I'm sorry, some people use aliases online. They might have one name and go by another in real life. The Oz, National Radio Day, whatever it is, we all know who the Oz is. Like, there's no, like, should he always use his real name? No, people use nicknames. I've had him, or he spread disinformation about, most recently, about the Monroe House on Channel 7 saying that the building was not for sale. When there's a sign outside, it was for sale back in August. And then later on, he thought that it was Portage House when I posted a picture of it. Like, those are just a couple things. I've been told to be more like a male before on there. Be more like a guy with a specific name, but I'm putting in a guy instead. Like, this is on the regular basis. We need to have a social media mandate. We can't even tell if the profile that he uses every day, is it his personal profile? Or is it the mayoral one? If it's a mayoral one, it's actually, it's stated that it is, I can't think of the name right now, sorry. Pretty much, it says that, pretty much it's where the mayor can make money off of being an influencer. There we go. It says that he's an influencer there, pretty much, under the profile. Like, he could be getting ad money right now. We don't know. Who has access to that? How is the city going to archive what he is saying? Can you get access to it? Is this going to be the profile that the next mayor uses and all they're going to do is change the name? Each and every day, the city is at risk for what he's saying. So we need to figure out what to do. We need an archival mandate for any and all communication that is going on social media or any other outlets. We need to have a redirection of businesses. What should elected officials do when they're getting outreach from individuals? Who should it go through? Should everything be filtered through the mayor? Or can people actually finally, again, have access to department directors? I've been waiting for months for some responses. I don't get them. I even sent for the facilities management thing. I asked in the exact words that he agreed to for the report, and I got a different response. Like, this is, you can't get anything when you want it. You made a $20 million decision to build a new city hall, and we, the public, couldn't even get information how that building was determined and what other buildings were being discussed. And what were the determining factors? All we got was, well, this is what our needs are, not anything bigger than that in big picture, long term. And we need something. Common Council needs to step up because we should not have a mayor online saying disparaging things, manipulating what somebody says when they're up here and turning it into something else before they even sit down, too. Like, no sarcasm. Yes, it might be funny, but the person saying it might think it's funny, but the other person getting that feedback, they just took their time to come to a meeting to speak. Don't put them down right away.
Thank you, Andrea. Keith Kudrowski.
Keith Kudrowski, 1536 Water Street. Thank you all for letting me speak. So, been reading some messages from some mothers in the area about the new park we have. Beautiful park. So I'm going to address 3 and 5 because I know they are the most proud about this park. I've had 3 ladies speak to me on Facebook, Fakebook, whatever you want to call it. One lady, there are 2, I'll gently say, homeless people banging on the merry-go-round. I'm sorry. That's disgusting. That's high school stuff. Don't know what we do. The other one the basketball players threatened her child saying she could be P-Diddy'd. So I don't know what you do. I would consider a neighborhood watch amongst your neighborhood. I mean, we had time to call up the cops on 18-year-olds who could die for their country, but we can't worry about the kids at a park. So I would suggest 3 and 5, because you were the ones who lauded this park. I know it was your predecessor, Melissa, or Mel, in my world. So consider something. And on Andrea's pile on there a little bit, I heard you say that the excuse for us being able to go on debt is because every other city is. So we have to pile on debt onto the people in this city. I don't know how they survive in their houses. I don't know how they pay their taxes. I don't own one. Thank God. I will probably be out of here in a year and you won't have to worry about me at all. So, but we can't have everything. I want everything. I can't. My money runs out. I got to quit buying it. I can't have a pretty road. I have to have the road that's functional. So consider spending the people's money a little better. We're in a lot of debt. I know we are. So thank you.
Thanks. Keith, just for clarification, you're talking about Saremar Park?
Yep.
Okay. I'll talk to the chief afterwards. I know we're aware of some of that stuff.
The one girl did call in. I don't know the others. I couldn't get much more information because they don't want to be, because they're chastised in this town. So
I understand. Brandy McCuskey.
I don't like speaking in front of people, so bear with me, folks. Brandy McCuskey, I'm the publisher of the Point Plover Metro Wire here in Stevens Point. Good evening.
Address, please.
1605 Riverview.
Thank you.
I'm here with concern over a little-known city policy that's quietly being used to block communication between department heads and the press. The media relations policy was adopted by the Common Council in 2020. Although no one on the council at the time, including some of you here tonight, thought it was worth any discussion. Former Council President Melissa Johnson explained that she introduced the policy because some council members were hearing about important city news from the press other than the mayor's office. For the past 2 decades, I've been meeting with department heads in this city to discuss background on projects, budgets. You need that kind of infrastructure as a solid foundation to cover community news. Those conversations have always been professional and productive, and until recently, I've never had any difficulty getting information out of a department head in this city, at least in terms of publicly available information. That changed this month. Prior to a scheduled meeting with the Public Works Director to discuss Business 51, he told me the meeting had been canceled by order of the mayor. When I met with the mayor on October 16th, he claimed the director wasn't interested in meeting with me. I knew that to be a false claim because the director had already said he was willing and ready to meet with me. When I asked the mayor why he canceled the meeting, he said he, quote, wasn't allowing it because department heads could speak with the press, quote, only with my permission. The mayor said all requests for information must now go through his office, and if he doesn't have the answer, he will find it, and he will be the one to disseminate it. This new policy interpretation prevents the press from reporting information in a timely manner or with multiple sources as often required under the tenets of journalism. It means residents hear what one public official chooses to release and when they choose to release it, which I understand was a very popular policy in 1930s Germany. Plover operates under an entirely different philosophy. Administrator Steve Kuntz has confirmed there is no policy requiring permission that staff needs to obtain to speak with the press. Department heads there are trusted to answer questions relevant to their work, and in his words, quote, that falls under the umbrella of transparency, don't you think? I'm asking this Common Council to thoroughly review this policy as soon as possible. Either eliminate it entirely or modify it after far more discussion than you gave it last time, and with input from industry professionals to ensure a realistic and fair policy that cannot be weaponized. I know some of you on this council already have some of these same concerns. This council cannot sit on the fence post anymore. I'm almost done. You are an 11-member body that is responsible for creating policies in this city. The public deserves information that is timely, factual, and reported by independent journalists, not filtered through politics. And as a closing sentence from the novelist George Orwell, journalism is printing something that someone else does not want printed. Everything else is public relations. Thank you.
Thank you. Sheena Williams.
Sheena Williams, 8089 County Road W. I'm sorry, County Road JJ. I've just moved. I am going to feed off of Andrea. I am going to be addressing the fact of the mayor and his conduct on social media. I am the one he speaks of with Deb Willickett. I have tried reaching out all last week to speak to the mayor on his behavior. This is in regards to a post in which he stated, "You need a clue or a smack to the head to clear the cobwebs. The world needs more ditch diggers." I'm here to tell everyone, had I as a citizen or anybody else made those accusations or those words to anybody that they were going to smack anyone upside the head, we would have had deputies at our residence with citations, a free ride to the jail, harassment charges. Possibilities are endless. Why is the double standard with the mayor acceptable? Why is it okay that he can continue to break his conduct? As it states in the administrative policy, the first line states the city holds its employees to high standards of professional and ethical conduct in their employment. It proceeds to go on, stating city employees shall conduct themselves in a manner that will reflect favorably upon the city and show respect towards other employees and the public. Please tell me where on here it says a smack to the head to clear the cobwebs is respectful. He is a hazard to our community. This is concerning behavior. Actions of employees that are inconsistent, incompatible, or in conflict with the values established by the city negatively affect its reputation and that of its employees. Such actions thereby detract the city's overall ability to effectively and efficiently serve the public and conduct other essential business of the city. The city reserves the right to take disciplinary action should an employee's off-duty conduct negatively affect the city and the employee's future ability to serve the public and/or conduct business on behalf of the city. I also documented at one point in time the other day when I was on the phone with the city attorney, in which he also was responding with harassment behavior towards an individual at 1:21 p.m. in the afternoon on Friday, again on city time. At what point does this man the mayor, become held accountable for his actions and his behavior on social media? On the list of personal conduct guidelines, it includes failing to cooperate with others, fighting, threats, intimidation, and harassment of others, discourteous treatment of others, profane or disrespectful conduct, and failing to comply with city and department policies. I'm also aware that you have received other conduct and reprimands. At what point in time are you held responsible for your actions and your behaviors? You are held to a higher standard than everybody else in this room as civilians. I'm ashamed of you.
Thank you. Next up, we have a presentation to the mayor and council. We have Angel Laidlaw, who's the president of Centergy, giving Central Wisconsin Industry Study a review. Angel?
Hello, everyone. I was going to say good afternoon, but it's good evening, especially with this dark weather. So thank you so much for having me this evening. I've had the pleasure of working with Centergy for the last 3 years, and we really focus on regional impacts, so leveraging what we have in our 5 counties, which is Lincoln, Marathon, Portage, Wood, and Adams County. We focus on core pillars, our talent growth, regional advocacy, business development, and partner engagement, which is why I'm here this evening. In an attempt to do business attraction, we are talking with people across the state and across the nation on how do we attract business here in central Wisconsin, and we are falling short. There are great local efforts happening, but we know as a region we can attract more based on our workforce and what we have here for quality of life. So I'm just going to briefly cover a regional industry study that Centergy will be conducting with our partners in central Wisconsin. I know you were provided 2 different information. One's a very lengthy proposal and what's all included, and then there's the shorter version that's just a little bit easier to digest. So I'll just cover some of the high points on this. What the study does is it evaluates central Wisconsin's competitiveness for business attraction and industry growth. It aligns our regional assets with workforce, utilities, transportation, cost, and with which industries that we can actually compete and win those businesses here in central Wisconsin. It helps position central Wisconsin to be more competitive and look for that business investment, but it also provides data-driven insight which shows our strengths and also our gaps here in central Wisconsin. How we're looking at this is it's going to include data and then also in-person tours and discussion with stakeholders as well. We have decided to contract with Site Selection Group, or SSG for short. They are the largest independent site selection firm in the U.S., and they represent over 30 Fortune 100 companies. I had the privilege to meet with one of their representatives over the summer, and he actually came here and toured one of the properties in Stevens Point specifically, talking about some of the value that could be added, talking about utility infrastructure, and what are some of those key assets. He gave all this feedback for free, and then after having a great conversation with some of the staff at the city of Stevens Point, we decided that we could use this for our whole region, right? Having just that information to show us, A, what we're good at, and maybe what is the pipeline for us to improve the properties or our region entirely. We're excited to work with them. The study is going to cost about $130,000, and we've already partnered and applied for a $50,000 grant with WEDC, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and we are partway through the process. So we can't say we've gotten it yet until we've signed a contract, but we have been vetted and we are going through the approval process. This will be funded by our partners, so cities, counties, and also our private sector investors that invest in Centergy as a nonprofit to do this work here locally. And then Centergy will also be putting in $10,000 as well to this large study. As of today, our hard commitments are $78,000, and then we already have some soft commitments, but again, again, I like to present at all the council and county board meetings to make sure that everyone understands and they feel comfortable with the study. Some of the clear outcomes that we are going to get from this are identifying target industries. Who should we be attracting? Not just saying we're good at manufacturing, but should we attract maybe an airplane part manufacturer? Maybe we need to focus on food and ag beveraging. What does that look like for us? It also gives us actionable steps to improve site readiness and marketability. Currently, Centergy travels outside the state of Wisconsin and attends an event called Select USA, where we're looking to attract businesses. I've gotten over 100 leads from them, but which ones are the right lead for us to be pursuing or connecting with our local municipal partners? We want to make sure that we're building a strong collaboration on these and aligning with our local government, utilities, and our economic partners to make sure we're all marketing and doing the same message. We all know each community is very different and they're doing local efforts, but how can we leverage that a little bit more together? The strategy will build this roadmap for future developments here in Wisconsin, and then also be able to help us leverage those dollars and man time instead. I am a staff of one. We do a lot of work, and we're very blessed to be able to do that with our partners, which is why we get so much more done. But we certainly want to conserve those dollars and market in the right regions and areas as well. So the value for our region is it positions central Wisconsin to be more competitive and coordinate around a region of business attraction. It reinforces a regional economic identity and complements the local ones that we already currently have. And it provides tool to market central Wisconsin confidently from experts instead of just saying that we are pretty great here. But it also really moves the needle for us and makes us proactive instead of reactive as we're getting requests from the state for potential businesses that are interested in Wisconsin. I'll pause because I said a whole awful lot, and I'm happy to answer any questions about the study.
Angel, we typically don't do questions and answers
I apologize.
over the presentation, and that's okay. But if somebody does have questions and they want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Yes, my email is president@centergy.net. You can reach out to me anytime. The phone goes directly to my cell phone because I'm only in the office about 1 day a week in Wausau, and I'm traveling in between the region and the state trying to figure out what we're working on next and how we can help local businesses. So please feel free to reach out with any questions.
Thank you. And if anybody needs a copy of the actual study that's in the clerk's office, we can send it electronically, or if you need to, we can print it out and have a hard copy available for pickup.
Yeah, and I'm happy to meet with anyone to dive into the specific details in the study. Again, it's very long, but I like to be transparent on the work that we're doing and provide all the resources.
Thank you, Angel, and thank you for everything Centergy does.
Thank you so much. It's a great job to have.
All right, on to the agenda. Item number 6 is the consent agenda. That, I should point out, includes the proposal from Colonial Life, which we talked about at Personnel. So you would be approving that proposal from Colonial Life in the consent agenda.
I would move approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, second by Steinmetz. Discussion? Comments from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
And Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 7 is an ordinance amendment, a request from the city of Stevens Point to amend Chapter 23 of the zoning ordinance of the Revised Municipal Code. Said request amends Section 23.02, Sub 4, Sub E, establishing groundwater protection zones for municipal well 12. Any comments, questions, or a motion? I can get the director in here if we need that.
Approval.
You want it?
I second.
Joel? I'm sorry, Alderman
I
Lang,
move
was that a
approval.
motion, or do you want to hear from the director?
I move approval.
Move approval, seconded by Morrow. Discussion? Comments from the audience? Sorry, Joel. We'll get you up here eventually. Hearing none. Clerk, please call that roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
And Morrow.
Oh, aye.
And that's approved. Item number 8 is a request from Tyler Ignatowski, representing Little Captain LLC, to annex an unaddressed parcel bounded by Stanley Street from the town of Hull to the city of Stevens Point with the parcel identified in your packet.
Move approval of this. This is also in my area.
Thank you.
I've talked to the person.
Okay.
It's good.
I'll second.
Seconded by Keemer. Discussion? Comments from the audience? Hearing and seeing none. Clerk, please call that roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Kuzi.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Nebone.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
And Christensen.
Aye. And that is approved. Item number 9 is a public hearing, the 2024 Northside Street Improvement Project 24-01 with special assessments for the installation of storm sewer laterals. Director, before I open up the public hearing, do you want to give a recap for anybody? Real quick, just what this means and what the next item means.
Yeah. Let's see. So are we on the north side?
Yes.
Okay. On that project, there's 56 or 8, I think it's 58 properties that are being levied an assessment for the installation of storm sewer laterals. This part of town especially, we're finding a lot of high groundwater. At times, we need to compel a property owner to stop discharging a sump pump or something over a sidewalk, down a driveway, or in the winter during frost, it might be getting onto their neighbor's property. And without a lateral or some place to put that doesn't create a public nuisance or a nuisance to their neighbor, it's really hard to enforce something like that. So where there's high groundwater, we've been putting these laterals in for many years now, and those, because they didn't pre-exist, those improvements get assessed the first time. So 80 to 100 years from now, we'll replace this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. So with that, the public hearing is open. Anyone wishing to offer testimony on this, step forward to the lectern, name and address for the record. Public hearing remains open. And for the third and final time, the public hearing is open. Okay. Seeing no one wishing to speak, we'll declare the public hearing closed and bring us to item number 10, which is the final resolution for those assessments, those special assessments for the installation of stormwater laterals for 2024 Northside Street Improvement Project 24-01.
I would move approval.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Broderick. Discussion.
Be able to help with the flooding in the area. It'll also help with updating everything so that there's not any lead, because some of those are like 100 years old.
Or more.
And with weeds and everything else in them.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
The resolution stated 30 days for payment, I believe. Is that from the time that this is published? Is that, what's the window? And I know there was payment plans.
That's a good question for the comptroller, and yes.
Yeah, okay.
We're pretty reasonable when it comes to things like this,
Yeah.
but I'll let the comptroller come up here and speak to options that these people have.
Yes, so it's 30 days from when the bill is sent out.
Okay.
Is if they want to pay in full, and otherwise they can finance it over 5 years, and if they finance it over 5 years, it's at a 4.5% interest rate.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Comments from the audience? Yes, sir? You have to come up to the lectern, please.
Hi, Nathan Sandwick, 633 Portage Street. Really just a question for clarification. I may be interested. I don't know which neighborhood you're talking about exactly.
Sure. I'll get the director to come up here. Every year we do different street projects.
I came for a different agenda item. But.
Okay.
Walker Street from 2nd to Forest, Maria from 2nd to Division, Vincent from Maria to 6th, and 2nd from Walker to Maria. So, yeah, I guess this was actually a 2024 project that ended up going into 2025, which is why we're in this cycle of these right now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so generally what happens when we do a road reconstruction project is people that we think may need some sort of special assessment for a water lateral, sewer lateral, or in this case, a stormwater lateral, we will notify them that there is a likelihood of that. We have the public information meetings. Then once the project is completed, we know exactly what the cost was, so we know what to bill the property owners. So this is that final resolution for the project. We have a motion and a second. Are there any other questions? Seeing and hearing none. Clerk, please call. Oh, sorry, over there. Nathan, I don't have you registered for anything to speak on, is it? Oh, you're good. Sorry.
Chelsea Martin, 1017 Maria. I am just wondering, how was it determined that these needed to be replaced? We're new homeowners, so I'm just unsure.
Director?
These actually aren't replacements, and that's why they're being assessed. So in that neighborhood, there were very few, if any, stormwater laterals. You're probably familiar with seeing some pumps pump out the face of the curb.
Just for clarification, because some people probably don't know this, explain the difference between your water, your sanitary sewer, and your stormwater.
Sure. So these laterals are attached to the storm sewer system, non-sanitary, so the same pipes that collect the water on the road through the catch basins on the edge of the curb line, these laterals are connected to that same pipe. So what's appropriate to go in there is just clear water, just stormwater. They were not there before, and kind of commensurate with the way we do assessments, the first time infrastructure goes in, somebody else pays for it. The most common situation like that is a developer, right? A developer comes in, puts in a subdivision, they pay for all that infrastructure, we take it over in perpetuity after that. So new infrastructure like this that hasn't been in yet, when it goes in the first time, somebody pays for it. And so it's kind of simple in a case like this because one lateral goes to one property, it benefits that property, so we know who to assess for it. Works a little different for something that's linear. If the storm pipe wasn't there out in the road, then it'd probably be based on frontage footage, something like that, but this is based on the bid amounts from the contract in order to put that pipe in.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
I have a question, because folks may not know what a lateral is and how this might actually help them.
Sorry. Yeah.
Good point. We talk about this all day.
So in the roadway, typically, especially in an urban part of the city where you have curb, gutter, sidewalk, you'll have three mains in the road. Right in the center is the sanitary sewer. Everything in the house that is connected to that consists of your kitchen sink, your bathroom, your toilet, your floor drains, everything like that, your shower. Offset to that, to one side, is the water main. That's for drinking water. Offset to the other side is the storm main. So the pipes that go from those mains to your property to service your property are considered laterals, especially in the gravity sense, sanitary and storm laterals. And then we usually call the water that goes there a water service.
Okay, good. Alderman? Good. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying, vote yes. All those opposed, vote no, and the clerk will call that roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Bradrick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Uzi.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 11 is an ordinance amendment creating traffic-controlled intersections at Hoover and Industrial Park Road and Hoover and Coye Drive. I was just commenting at staff today that I got to use those signals for the first time this weekend at the fire department's open house. But this is codifying the controlled intersection with the lights.
I'd move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Lang. Discussion?
I think as we're turning left off Industrial Park Road onto Hoover, the visibility there with the bridge isn't great, so having a light will be helpful. Back when I was still running before even elected, it was something that that neighborhood was bringing up fairly frequently. With the Ameda Center going in on Coye, I think signalization there is appropriate too. I'm happy to see it come to fruition and thankful for staff's efforts.
Great. Any other comments? Comments from the audience? Okay, seeing, hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
There was a comment in the back.
Nope, sorry. Keith, come on up. Keith, you gotta come over here. I'm sorry, buddy. It looks like you're having a bit of a hard time with that, but nobody can hear that's watching or on the recording.
It's kind of a moot point, but, so aren't these lights all installed and operating? I'm trying to figure out why it says on the agenda even. It's like.
So what happened is the lights got installed earlier this month, but after last month's council meeting.
Oh.
We didn't know when they were going to be installed and fully operational. Now that they are fully operational, all we're doing is changing the ordinance to note that that is a controlled intersection rather than one side stop. Does that
So
make
we
sense?
installed lights without them being approved?
No, the lights were approved. They weren't codified by ordinance.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right. Item number 12. It's a resolution,
I'm not sure we voted on that last week.
We have
Oh, see? Keith, you threw me off my game, buddy. Sorry, we do have a motion and a second, right?
We do.
I got that far down. All right, if you're in favor, you'll vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no. And clerk will call roll.
Morrow?
Aye.
Boozy?
Aye.
Lang?
Aye.
Shuda?
Aye.
Kneebone?
Aye.
Steinmetz?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Broderick?
Aye.
Keemer? Aye. Guthrie? Aye. And Christensen.
Aye. Thank you. That is approved. Item number 12, arguably my least favorite resolution of the evening, is to file a petition with the Office of the Commissioner of Railroads for the 2007 Patch Street Trail Project alterations. Does everybody remember this?
Yes.
We put in a multi-use path in 2007, but some Ts weren't crossed, Is weren't dotted. All right, good. Then,
And they lost it.
thoughts, comments, or a motion? Alder Kneebone.
My grandfather worked for the railroad. I'll move to approve.
Fair enough.
A second.
All right, seconded by Boozy. Discussion. Hopefully we just get this resolved and everybody's okay since we've been using it for the better part of 30 years. All right. If you are in favor, you'll vote yes. Opposed, vote no, and the clerk will call the roll.
Christensen?
Aye.
Guthrie? Aye. Keemer?
Aye.
Broderick?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Steinmetz?
Aye.
Kneebone?
Aye.
Shuda?
Aye.
Lang?
Aye.
Boozy?
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 13 is the disallowance of a claim by Danielle Morey with a vehicle struck by a ball.
I'll move to approve.
Approve the denial.
Correct.
Approve. So the motion is to approve the disallowance. It's like a double negative.
Yes.
Is there a second to that?
A second.
Seconded by Broderick. So the motion is to disallow the claim for the vehicle struck by a ball. Discussion? Comments from the audience?
This is tough.
Once again, the motion is to disallow the claim. If you are in favor of that disallowance, you will vote yes. If you are opposed to that disallowance, you will vote no, and the clerk will call that roll.
Morrow?
Aye.
Boozy?
Aye.
Lang?
Aye.
Shuda?
Aye.
Kneebone?
Aye.
Steinmetz?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Broderick?
Aye.
Keemer?
Aye.
Guthrie? Aye. And Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 14 is the approval of the 2026 capital budget.
We have talked about this. I move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Lang. Discussion?
We've talked about this a lot.
Yep. Comments from the audience?
Is there?
Go ahead. I didn't have either of you signed up for this, but that's okay.
She said that we didn't, since it was an agenda item, she said that I didn't need to put the number down. That's what I was told today.
Okay. Yeah, normally we have people sign up for anything but a public hearing, as
Yes,
stated earlier, but that's
yeah, you sort of change it every once in a while, so we never really
not
know.
changed ever. No, it's read verbatim from every agenda.
I hope then that the messages sent during this meeting, or during any meeting, when they are from people that are listening online, are recorded to a public record that will show that I left a meeting to then be able to participate online.
Go ahead, Andrea. We're making an exception for it.
Okay. I am still questioning the need to include the $9 million right now and not putting it off. And then when we do get the final cost for everything, then amending the budget, which can be done because, again, the council wasn't given all of the information prior to voting on this, on the topic of a new city hall. And I asked for the information, and even I asked for information that I would think that anybody here would have asked for, which was asking for a facilities list of all city-owned leased and operated properties and parcels by the city. Within the facilities list, please note all improvements or city-owned structures on each parcel. Commonly owned or leased city structures, including government buildings, infrastructure other than underground infrastructure like wires, sewers, recreational facilities, transportation facilities, housing, and jointly owned buildings with other entities such as the Lincoln Center and the library. And I asked to have it noted if an improvement or structure is primarily used for daily functional activities or for storage. If a building is utilized for function, please note the percentage of vacant storage and daily functional activities. If a daily functional activity space is not fully occupied and has more than 5 consecutive non-use days in a row, note this, like a meeting room or office used 40 days in a year. Please note, too, any vacancies with even part of a facility lasting 30 days or greater in the past 5 years. An example would be 10-year vacancy in the building at 1466 Water Street, that one big tent just rented, a city-owned house or duplex without any active tenant for 30 days or greater, the Great Lakes building with a vacancy for over 3 years and no active for rent or for sale listings. Said that once I acquired that, I'd ask for possibly additional information is to see if the city was going to acquire, dispose of, sell a property for a public purpose. Its use must serve the public's necessity, convenience, or welfare. I wanted to see the list of facilities and how facility space is used to see how the city will impact the city's bottom line, helping manage to reduce capital and operating costs. If instead you were willing to provide a less comprehensive facilities list that was requested and agreed on in the April Common Council meeting, I'd be happy to accept that instead. That full list, meeting what was agreed upon in April, wasn't given to the alders prior to voting. So now we're making a decision to approve or to put $9 million on the budget without even knowing how much something might cost. I feel like that is a little preemptive when you can also amend it in the future.
Thank you. Do you have something you, no?
I'm good. I can't handle your level of disrespect. I'll lose control.
Perfect.
With my mouth.
All right, so the 2026 capital budget is before you. To talk a little bit about some of the concerns that were brought up when I had to leave last week, the council had evaluated the options that were reviewed by staff. Information was given to council and why some locations were considered but not chosen. I know that there was a building on Industrial Park that was brought up. We toured the building. It could work for some of our needs, but not all of our needs, and there wasn't even anything close to a potential sale of that. We did talk about some potential future use out there, but of course that would be a negotiation that the council would have to approve at a later date should that opportunity ever come up. It'd be the same as saying, well, we could use the gymnasium at PJ Jacobs or potentially the Boys and Girls Club facility to house city offices, but those are really, we could do this all day. The $9 million that's approved in the budget, if you recall, Comptroller Treasurer Laddick's discussions in regards to City Hall and Business 51, he thought it best to try and split it up over the course of 2 years to minimize the impact for taxpayers on that debt service. The $9 million was put into the budget after the council approved the build new option as opposed to the remodel, and those numbers were based on the estimates that you got from Somerville, which is the architectural firm that you hired. I was a little skeptical about some of those numbers too, because when I started making calls prior to that to a couple of the contractors, they were telling me it could be as much as $500 a square foot to build new. So when they were coming in significantly less, I questioned it. So did every person on staff. We have been talking to them almost daily, but definitely multiple times a week on our timeline that we approved and the county is counting on, and the build new option, which is what council had approved. Their numbers based on actual buildings that had been built. Last Tuesday, several on staff toured the City Hall at Waukesha, and we toured the City Hall in Sheboygan, and then had the opportunity to go visit Somerville at their brand-new building, just completed, had the ribbon cutting that day, for less than $350 a square foot, built. They also were the architects for the new Noble Community Clinics across the street from P.J. Jacobs, also around $350 a square foot. So we're not guessing as much as we are basing it on actual numbers, and that is just something you will have to either trust or not trust. But by putting the $9 million in here, it helps us better keep our timeline. We could have special meetings, and we probably will actually have to have special meetings anyway. But having the money already authorized gives the assurance to both the county and the contractors that may be bidding on this and the architect that you've chosen that the city is looking to do this. As with any other contract, any agreement, if there is something when the bids come in that, oh my God, it's $25 million, I don't think it will be. But if it is, you simply say no and reject the bids. That is how it works. So I would encourage people to take that into consideration, that we're not spitballing numbers here. If there was any information that the council needed prior to the decision, I wasn't made aware of it. We provided a pile of information. I thought we were pretty comfortable with that. I myself was more in favor of a remodel than a rebuild, but with the numbers so close, it makes sense to do that. We're really close to having the layout done. I had some more information today, actually, from one of the directors, but the directors have been working multiple times a week with the architects for that. I wasn't aware of any other questions on the capital budget, with the exception of maybe the facility study, but the same thing. If it's too much, then we just say no. If it's not enough, we can add more if we have to, but we won't need to follow the same timeline necessarily. All right.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
So at this point, we have $17.3 million allocated for the City Hall, correct?
No. We have an estimate based on those numbers of about $17 million. The capital budget puts $9 million of that in the 2026 budget.
Right.
That's because we expect to go out to bid with any luck in January. So in January, you will have the bid. Part of that would be the $9 million. The other part, should you choose to accept that bid, whatever the winning bid is, would be the balance in 2027.
Okay.
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
One thing that I do like is that we're going to actually break this up, because they could be kind of a hard pill to swallow for everybody if we're like, okay, we're going to borrow the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And if we could break that up, that would be better for the city, I think, and it would be also better for the taxpayers, as opposed to having to take that chunk out and for our debt.
Right, and that makes sense. Like the comptroller explained earlier, if we took $17 million in borrowing right away, we don't borrow until we need it anyway. So even the stuff you approved today won't be borrowed till spring until we need it. So, all right, if you're in favor, vote yes. Opposed, no, and the clerk will call that roll.
Christensen?
Aye.
Guthrie?
Aye.
Keemer?
Aye.
Broderick?
Aye.
Burr?
Aye.
Steinmetz?
Aye.
Kneebone?
Aye.
Shuda?
Aye.
Lang?
Aye.
Uzi?
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye. And that is approved. Before we adjourn, I want to remind people that there's a special Plan Commission meeting tomorrow to talk about the zoning code rewrite. Yeah. And next Monday, in this very room at 6 p.m., we will have the presentation by the Comptroller Treasurer on this year's operating budget. Those are all coming up. With that, our agenda is exhausted, and we are adjourned at 7:53.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.